Hi folks, welcome back to B Mills Farm. It has been quite some time. This is literally the first opportunity I've had to make a video in many months. We have lots of house projects going on. Obviously you can tell some things have changed on the farm. Last video I made I think was about the Dexters that are no longer here. I don't know if I had pigs then. I don't think I had pigs then. And definitely didn't have longhorns. So we got some stuff to dive into today and give you some good updates, and we'll just see where the video goes. All right, so for those who have followed along with the whole B Mills journey, this is where the cow corral used to be. You can still see the fence posts there that are still up that I got to get rid of. But I've decided to get rid of this whole corral area because I just didn't like where it was. It gets too wet in this area. And my most valuable resource I have on the farm is grass, and that was just simply taking up grass. So got rid of that, or getting rid of it. It's mostly gone. And you can see over here is the next project that we get to go visit. All right, so this is one of the paddocks down bottom. This is where the corral used to be. There's the barn. And so, wow, it's bright out. So this is the corner of this paddock, and then this paddock is the one that leads to up to the top pasture for those who have seen videos of me up there. So I got some boards up here, and that is because I'm expanding the paddocks. So this here was a paddock. It's fenced off, obviously. And then the apple trees, my property still extends deep into there, all those pine trees. So before my YouTube channel, many moons ago, this under these apple trees is where I used to keep pigs. I had 2 pigs back here. Actually, one of them was Mama, for those who follow that far back. So I used to have the pigs in here under the apple trees. And then I just got too busy with other stuff, mainly cows. And so I had to move the pigs into the barn where I could control them easier and just make my life easier. And I never really liked that setup. So this is the start of getting the pigs back out to actual pasture and woodlots. So that is our rat control. She was named Spicy Boo by a 2-year-old that we had in our care for a week. You never could get close to this cat, and we had that 2-year-old with us, and we went for a walk outside to look at chickens or something. I think chickens. And she just walked right up to her, and she was able to pet her. Now, it was a little concerning because she's never been pet before. But ever since then, she's been friendly, and she doesn't let you touch her, but she'll come up and rub up against your legs, and she really likes to hang out with you when you're out here. Whenever I'm out here doing projects, she's right there with me. Okay, so this is the entrance off this paddock where the cows will be into where the pigs will be. I had to put some posts in, and I'm putting a 6-foot gate in there. One of the reasons I did not have pigs back out here again is because we put the fence in and it was all solid fence through here, so it blocked this area off. And with the cows on pasture, it was going to be a big project to, cut the fence, put posts in, get everything back together so that the fence stayed hot. And I was just too busy then anyway, so I didn't really want to get into a project where I was cutting apart a brand new fence. But the time has come to cut it apart, and so now we're putting in the pigs area. This, what you see here, is going to be where we load and unload pigs. It's going to be the control area for them. This will be where I train them to electric. I'll put a strand of electric inside this. We'll have this gate here to keep them out of there and in there, and this will be the gate that lets them out to their paddock. When they are trained to electric and I move them out of here, I'm going to keep them out of there, and that will be where I store their feed in metal trash cans or 55-gallon drums, however I'm going to store it. So when I come in, I don't have to come through the gate directly into pigs. For those of you that have pigs, you know how kind of annoying that can be when you have buckets of feed and they all come rushing right to you and trying to knock you over to get your feed and all that. So this is going to be an area without pigs so that I can come in, close the gate, set the feed down, and I'm not sure if I'll probably have a system out here that you can just dump feed over, so that if somebody's taking care of the farm for me, if we're on vacation or have to go out of town for whatever reason, whatever, they don't actually have to get in with the pigs. They can just come into this area with the feed and dump the feed over into a trough on the other side. And that way, nobody has to get in with the pigs if they don't want to. And it just makes life a lot easier. So this is under the apple trees. It'll follow this fence line all the way down. You could see the T-post leaning up there. That's where it's gonna go left, and the cow pasture is over here to the right. All right, so I am standing under one of the apple trees that was planted by my wife's grandparents. So that's kind of cool. Ever since I had the pigs in here, these trees were pretty moldy and dying. Weren't really producing anything. They're still in rough shape. But ever since I had the pigs on here, they're producing quite a few apples actually, and a lot of them are pretty nice and edible. So under here, as far as you can see back, there's a little trail here. As far as you can see back, it goes into pine trees there. This is going to be about probably a half acre, maybe a little bit more, of land that was not being used, that I own, that is now going to be used for pigs. So this will be one paddock for the pigs. Again, probably half acre, maybe a touch more. And then I have plans going up the hill in the woods that we're also not using, and putting more pasture, pig pasture, wood lots for the pigs on the property. The part of my property that the cows, that is not currently fenced off, that the cows have not been on, that I've showed very little of, it's probably 2 or 3 acres up there that are not being used, that hopefully I will also be able to fence in for the pigs, because it's really thick and brushy, and the pigs can go up there and clear it out to hopefully eventually one day cut out a lot of the trees and just open it up more of a silvopasture, and hopefully be able to put cows and pigs up there at some point. This will be where the pigs load into that controlled area and unload. It's just going to be a 6-foot gate there, so I can back a trailer up to here. There's no room for them to slip out, and hopefully we can load them easy. I might have to put a gate inside there or something so that I can push them into this area. Not sure yet, but we're making progress. All right, so now we're in the chicken coop area, and I'm just gonna break down the animals that we have, why we have them, where we're going, and what the actual plan moving forward is for the farm. Now you guys have heard me say plans multiple times that I've tried, didn't like it or didn't work out, couldn't make it work, and pulled out of those plans. And although that's frustrating, and probably frustrating for you guys watching, it's the only way I can do it, really. I don't have anybody to base my model off of besides people on YouTube. And the farmers that I do know do practices that I don't really agree with. So I'm starting from scratch, trying things, failing or not liking it, whatever you want to call it, and then restarting from scratch. So not a big deal. We just got to keep licking our wounds, and eventually we'll find the things that we're supposed to be doing. So the longhorns that are here, if you have watched previous videos with the longhorns, that's Dolly and Peppermint, and they're two calves that they have on their side, and both of them are bred. They are not mine. They are my father-in-law's, and we are just simply overwintering them here. The only animals that are mine that are staying are the chickens and the cat. These chickens are pullets. They're not laying yet. There's 3 of them that are. They all should be laying fairly soon. But this is the start of my egg business part of the farm. They are going to be pasture raised. I have, if you can see, this is just their coop where their safety is. So I have this poultry net, Premier One poultry net that goes all the way down the old fence post and goes left, and that's just to keep them on my property. Other than that, they have complete free range of wherever they want to go, and in the spring we'll put them in probably that hay wagon that you saw that has all the hay in it. I'll probably pull that out to pasture, put the chickens in that, and move that around in the pastures. All right, so we got 2 eggs out of 34 chickens that are not laying yet. So we're off to a slow start, but by the time spring comes, we'll be rocking and rolling with lots of eggs. These nest box that I'm using are just milk crates, or whatever you want to call them, plastic crates. They're cheap. We cut the front out of them, put some old drop hay in, and they go in here, make a nest, and you have nice, really clean eggs if you keep them clean. I don't have hay in the bottom ones just because the 2 chickens, sometimes 3 that are laying, like to lay in this spot, so no point in wasting hay that's waste anyways. But all right, so the way I have this set up is I just stacked them on top of each other. I made this little roost bar that goes up and blocks it so they can't sleep in there at night. A lot of them end up getting on top and sleeping. So what I'm gonna do is just put netting around so that they can't get on top of it, because what happens is they'll get up there, hang out, and poop gets into the nest box. So we want to keep the nest box as clean as possible, keep the eggs as clean as possible, so that when we're ready to sell, we don't have to spend a bunch of time cleaning the eggs. They come out nice and clean. So I'm gonna continue on this that way and more this way. I've never had a batch of chickens that flies more than these ones. They just fly all over the place. So for the winter, this is their home base. Like I said, I open the gate every morning and let them just go where they want to go. In the winter, so eggs are basically a seasonal food. Their egg production is based on the length of day. So spring, summer, they start to hit their peak, and then fall, they start to taper back off, and in the winter, they slow way down to very, very infrequent laying. Now, you can leave a light on in here, you can feed them more, there's lots of tricks to get them to keep laying, but we kind of want to just let the chickens be chickens and function as they're supposed to. So what we're going to do is just have a lot more chickens, and hopefully when they slow down, we'll still have enough that we can keep up with our egg demand, which is the main goal of this farm until spring, is to get egg production in. I'm going to start hatching my own eggs. When I have 2 roosters that have started to mate with the pullets that aren't laying yet. So when I do have eggs that are fertile, I'm going to start hatching eggs and slowly work from 34 layers to probably a few hundred. It'll obviously take a while because I'll only be hatching, maybe 10 eggs at a time. So we'll just keep adding, maybe more than that. I'm not sure yet. So a lot of the problem that I ran into on my first go around on the farm was it started out as a hobby, a homestead basically, and I just kept adding and adding and adding, and still kind of had the homestead mentality. I was happy with just breaking even and never really stepped back and made it a business and had a business plan and made projections and really, got things in order so that I could be on a path to be successful. So my ultimate goal on this property is to be able to make enough income to hopefully one day quit my job. So I've made projections. I've got a business plan for the chickens. I've made projections where I want to go, how I'm going to get there. Obviously, it's going to be a slow process to get there, but I want to get the eggs to be a big part of the business. And then in the springtime, I already have projections for pig business, how many pigs, how much feed I'm going to give them, how much paddocks I'm going to give them, the price of all the products, and projections moving forward with that. A big thing with pigs is I was trying to send 1 pig at a time to the processor, and that's just not economical when the processor's over an hour away. And once you add in fuel cost and all that, you're basically losing. So my goal is to have bigger batches, send 6 at a time, and which will require a lot of freezer space so that I can sell them by the cut. And hopefully with the egg business, I can build up enough customer base that once the pork comes in, then the people who are buying eggs will just transition into buying eggs and pork, and I'll already have a customer base established. Eggs are easy because, well, chickens are pretty easy as long as you can keep them alive. They're inexpensive, so people, will gladly spend the money on good quality pasture raised eggs. I know that we're spending $8, $9, $10 a dozen on eggs now because, well, we don't have enough eggs of our own to feed ourselves. So, we're spending $8, $9, $10 on a dozen eggs. And I know a lot of people are. Fortunately, my plan is not to produce $10 a dozen eggs. We're probably going to be around the $6 a dozen area, as long as prices for feed and all that stay fairly consistent. It will also help keep the price down by hatching our own eggs, I think. So that's the that's basically the update for the farm. We got chickens, father-in-law's longhorns, and I think I should have a little bit more time to hopefully do a every Sunday video, give some updates. It's like I said, it's going to be pretty much chickens and those few longhorns until the springtime, but hopefully I can make enough content to get this channel back up where it was and hopefully entertain you guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep farming. We'll see you later.